She's the one who chose that too. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh my god. Hello everybody, welcome or perhaps welcome back to the channel. My name is Kumiko, but you can just call me Kumi for short, and today we are here to react to episode 14 of Frieren, and this one is entitled Privilege of the Young. And I see that we are 29 years after the death of Himmel the hero in the Rad region located in the Northern Lands. So we will start that up in just a moment, just really quickly. Just a reminder, I do have Patreon for just $5. You can get early access to the full uncut versions of these reactions. So if you are curious, go ahead and check that out. The link is down in the video description below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into the episode. Does seem like it's kind of bustling. Oh, have we been here before? Oh, Hyder's favorite. Shopping together later. Aww. Aww. Himmel. Oh, I'm excited. I'm glad I got my Himmel snippet. That makes me happy. Fern's little huffy face. Oh, what's he upset about? The lovebirds fighting. Oh. Oh, but did he know? Did he know? In fairness to Stark, did he know? She looks like she's about to explode. Oh. Oh! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Fern. Well, I wonder, how long has Stark been traveling with us? Like, it hasn't been that terribly long, has it? Like, it maybe hasn't come up in conversation just yet, so I'm assuming that he maybe just, didn't know it was her birthday, but I guess we'll find out. I don't think he would do anything intentionally to hurt her. He maybe just didn't realize. Aww. Yeah! Oh, dang! I'm surprised he noticed that. I mean, and fair, you know, and fair, she doesn't have a lot of experience with these things. She doesn't really have a lot of experience interacting with people her own age in general. I would say that she probably has zero experience interacting with someone her own age, because Frieren's like, what, 1,500 and Hyder was like 90, so, you know, I can't blame her. Yeah, I hope they can work it out. And I like what he got her. He's slow on the uptake. Stark also probably doesn't have much experience with these things. Like, in fairness, Stark also probably doesn't have a lot of experience interacting with people his age, you know? It sounds like he mostly grew up with Ison, and also, like, Ison was never, like, a gift giver, you know? Like, we found out that the Hamburg steak was, like, sort of his gift to Stark on his birthdays and his way of, like, acknowledging Stark's hard work, but Stark isn't, like, used to, or I guess Stark is how you say it. I'm so used to pronouncing it Stark, but it's Stark. There's, like, a sh sound to it. Anyways, Stark is also not used to like giving or receiving gifts. So a lot of this stuff is probably new to him, both to him and to Fern, and there's gonna be a bit of a learning curve. Like, I think Fern probably learned about gift giving from Frieren, because Frieren gave her gifts on her birthday, but Stark doesn't have that, so you know. Anyways, point is, I understand both perspectives. I understand like why Fern wanted the reciprocity from Stark, but I also understand why Stark maybe didn't realize how important it would be to her, you know? Unless you tell them. Frieren said the same thing in episode, was it 12, with the Hamburg steaks? Mm-hmm. Aw, I love him! He's such a great addition to our party. Himmel! Oh, his hand trembled. Dang. Aww. Aww. Oh, that's so sweet. Aww. Aw, they're learning. They're learning. Oh, this is so sweet. That makes me so happy. No, like the biggest smile on my face right now. That was awesome. Like, it's so nice seeing them communicate with each other, and Frieren was watching the whole time. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Making sure their kids are okay. Aww. The privilege of the young. 3 kids. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say he might remind her of Hyder. Hyder. What? Yeah, I haven't had anything to drink. That's kind of funny that they mentioned that he was picky with his food. It brings me back to like really early on when he was like flicking the broccoli onto Frieren's plate. That's funny that it came up again. I like this guy. He's great. Interesting.
老人相手に何を言っているんですかと言いたいところですが。
Since I was a child. I think a lot of people probably feel that way. I feel that way sometimes.
大人のふりを続けるでしょう。子供には心の支えになる。大人の存在が。Lots of praise and guidance. And that's then who will praise you for pretending until the day you die? Oh, this is so interesting because we just got done with an episode. Was it like episode 11 with Kraft? That was an episode that focused heavily on praise, and actually I feel like I've kind of noticed the way praise is prevalent in the story even before that episode. It just wasn't something that I thought about until episode 11, but like there are episodes even before episode 11 where like we see Frieren kind of like patting Fern on the head to praise her, and we also see Fern praising Frieren, and I assume that they both learned that from Hyder, like in the episode where Frieren like wakes up early and Fern's like, oh my god, she it's morning and she's awake. We have to praise her, you know? It's actually so interesting to go back after watching episode 11 and like think about all of the other times where praise has come up. But anyways, this raises a very like interesting question right here. The goddess, perhaps? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Aww, that's so sweet. I'll praise you down here. Is it gonna be a head pat? Oh, that's so cute. The same way that he praised her. I mean, I guess we don't know for sure, but that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. That is so sweet. I like, in my mind, I imagine that Hyder praised Frieren by patting her head, because it's like, I don't think we've like explicitly seen Hyder like praise her necessarily. Like in episode 11, they kind of talked about it and Frieren said, I already have someone who praised me, but we don't actually see the method of praise. However, after Himmel's death, we see Hyder pat her head, and I think she was like, my head is still not for patting, which kind of implies that like that was like Hyder's thing with her, perhaps. So that's really sweet. Like, in my mind, I've always kind of just assumed that Hyder used to like pat her head a lot, you know? And now we see her patting his. That's so sweet. That is so sweet. I'll speak with the goddess for you. Aw, this makes me miss Hyder so much. I miss Hyder. Should be praised by her. Aw, this is so sweet. My heart. Oh no, she's doing it to him. You're a proper adult. Aw, and he smiled. Oh my, dude, this is, oh my gosh, that whole exchange was amazing. And hold her woman, don't ruin the moment. Oh, that's so pretty. It's like really similar to Stark's bracelet. It's like the same color, like they both have silver bracelets. That's so sweet. Oh my god, bro, everything about like the last 10 minutes of this episode has been so sweet. Like, oh my god, my freaking heart, dude. That is like, once again, you just see Frieren, she's come so far, you know? Like, it's so cool to see a piece of I guess, knowledge that she gained from the past, like, carried over into the present, you know, with her patting Hyder on the head, and then it cuts to her patting Cyan on the head. Like, oh my gosh, that was beautiful. 29 years after the death of Himmel the hero in the Banned Woods, located in the Northern Lands. Oh my gosh, that whole sequence made me so happy. I'm like, I'm still not over it. I'm so happy that Fern got a bracelet and... Oh, cool. An accessory shop. Okay. I think she already got her accessory. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, that's so... It's so adorable. A ring with this Himmel! Wait, Himmel... Did Himmel, like, low-key propose and she didn't know it? Like, does the ring go on her left ring finger? Girl. Oh. Oh! 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 Wait, what? Just... Oh. Oh my gosh, okay. Wow, okay. I hope she didn't lose the ring and all that. Dang, wow. That was okay, I'm glad it wasn't what I was thinking it was, because I thought that, like, the carriage just exploded, or I thought they, like, I thought the horse, like, walked over some sort of explosives, and I thought that everything was about to just explode, and I was really stressed out about it. What's actually happening is better than what I thought was happening, but I really hope she didn't, like, lose the ring in that whole exchange, because that would really suck. I also want to know more about, like, the circumstances under which Himmel gave her that ring, because, like, oh, I'm so curious. I just want to know more about the ring. Until then, the skies were the exclusive domain of demons and monsters. Oh, interesting. Another repurposed demon's bell, just like Zoltrak. Okay. Okay. You're just gonna have to jump, my dude. You got this. This I won't get. Yeah, you got it. I mean, he was jumping pretty high when he was with the dragon. Oh! Did he just tank that with his head? How does he not break his neck? What? I'm appalled. Oh my god, Aizen actually built different. Oh. Yeah, that would not be great. That would definitely not be great. Oh! Oh, that's comforting. That's great. Oh. Nice. Okay, clean blast. Now we just gotta... What's the plan now? Is she gonna try to stop the fall of the carriage? Stark. Okay, you know, that didn't seem too bad. That was relatively minor. Oh, the horse is like, put me down. Hey, nice. Stark. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of doesn't look functional anymore. Dang, dude, Stark's strong. Just one arm to carry that big ass log? Yeah, do we have the ring still? I hope we didn't fly out in that whole exchange. It's so pretty. Aww. Oh, he chose that for her? That's really sweet. Good job, Stark. The hardest to deal with. Aww. Your reactions! I felt like I was dying. Aww. Oh, this is such a sweet episode. This would make me so happy. It's really cute too, because it kind of reminds me of like when Frieren was trying to pick a gift for Fern and she was like sweating. Like Stark was also sweating here. Mirrored lotus. In the language of flowers, it means eternal love. And but didn't Frieren say that her ring was the same design and Himmel gave it to her? Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, get me out of here. I can't with this anime. I'm gonna cry. Stop. You're an idiot after all. I think she likes it. Aww. Is that our dinner? Hey, nice. Got him. Oh, yum. That looks delicious. Frieren, bro. The Frieren sleeps in some wild positions, dude. Oh, is she looking for the ring? Oh, I hope we don't leave without the ring. I hope she can, like, find it before they...
Mm. Oh.
何を探しているんですか？ヒンメルからもらった指輪。手伝います。
Aww. Oh, Fern.
からなかったら諦めるよ。なくし物には慣れている。
But I feel like you don't want to lose this. I mean, that's true.
花言葉はクオンの愛情です。知らなかった。ヒンメルもそんな花言葉知らなかった。
I have a feeling he definitely did know exactly what it meant. Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. It's so sweet that Fern, like, understands how important this is, because I think the bracelet is, like, really important to Fern, and so she can relate, like, she would feel this way if she lost the bracelet. So we have to find this ring. We cannot move on until we find this ring. I understand that Himmel gave her other things, like, at least I take that to mean just things like a new perspective on life, for example, but I feel like even though it's just an object and she'll always have the memories of Himmel, like that's an object that's so important, you know, that probably has like a lot of meaning for her. I really want to know the context of how he gave it to her. Oh? Oh, we have a spell. Okay. That is so clutch. Thank goodness. This guy rocks. Thank you.
今回の討伐依頼で頑張ってくれたからね。好きなものを選んでくれ。
じゃあこれでいいよ。
真面目に選ん。
Oh.
どうしたの？
いや。
Wait, she's the one who chose that too. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh my god. Dude. I can't. I can't with this episode, bro. I can't. Oh, is he? Oh my god, stop! I can't stop! Oh my god! Bro, I'm sobbing! I'm literally sobbing! Oh my god. Holy cow. Oh my. So beautiful. Oh my god. Dude. Oh my god, I need a minute. Holy crap, that was like... Bro, he basically just like proposed to her and she didn't even realize it, but he like, oh my god. And like the thing is, I feel like Himmel knew, like he understood Frieren enough to know that she wasn't like her level of, I guess, emotional intelligence hadn't perhaps developed quite enough for her to really understand his feelings, or like maybe emotional intelligence is the wrong word for it, but like I feel like Himmel understood that Frieren like was not at a point in her life where she would be able to understand and accept his feelings for her. So the fact that he just like, you know, like I feel like he never really told her how he felt about her, but like his actions said so much. Like his actions said everything about how he feels about Frieren. Like it was basically a proposal, but it was like so beautiful because it was such a selfless proposal, you know? Like it's kind of like him basically saying like I'll love you for all eternity, even though I understand that you maybe can't reciprocate my feelings at the moment. Like it doesn't matter. Like you know, like it was like something that's so beautiful about Himmel's love is I feel like there was never any expectation of reciprocity. Like he just loved Frieren because of who she is as a person, and there was never any, I think, expectation or hope that she would feel the same way, and I feel like he was like okay with that, you know? Oh my god, my eyes are like okay. That scene just destroyed me, but I'm okay. I'm okay now. Anyways, continuing. Like it's just so beautiful. Like I find the way that Himmel loves Frieren to be incredibly like mesmerizing and just captivating. Anyways, I'm so glad we didn't give up. Aww, she is happy.
Mr. Stark is an idiot. Oh my god. Okay. I gotta say, like, there is something so incredibly beautiful in the purity and selflessness of Himmel's love for Frieren. It's like, he just loves her and expects nothing back in return, and I think that's what, like, really got me about that scene, you know? I feel like, even in a really healthy relationship, I feel like there's oftentimes, like, some degree of expectation, but with Himmel, it's like, there is zero expectation, and he seems completely okay with that. Like, he seems fully accepting of where Frieren is at in, like, her personal journey, and he seems to fully accept, and I think that, like, he probably accepted that she would never fully understand his feelings in that lifetime, in Himmel's own lifetime, but he just, like, he still wanted to express his feelings to her and show her how he felt, and I really hope that as Frieren continues to grow and develop and, continues on her path towards understanding humans better, I hope that she'll realize just how much he loved her, and I hope that she'll always cherish those memories. I mean, I feel like she already does cherish a lot of those memories, but I don't know if she has fully yet grasped the extent of how deeply Himmel loved her, and so that's something that's really beautiful, you know? It's like, it's just this, like, patient, quiet, pure love. I don't know, man, it just makes me love Himmel more and more every single episode, dude. Like, just when you think Himmel can't get better, he just gets better. Okay, let's talk about the episode now. I had to take a minute to gather my thoughts on everything after all of the emotions that I experienced watching that episode, but I want to start with this scene that literally had me, like, bawling. So it's just so beautiful. Because, I mean, there's so many things that are just gorgeous. Oh, like, okay, I mean, first off, just, like, the way their clothes are flowing, the way their hair is flowing, just everything about the animation in this scene is absolutely beautiful. Another thing that I'm noticing is, so when the episode started, there was focus on, like, a clock tower for a moment, and I was wondering, like, why the focus on the clock tower, and I get it now. I'm pretty sure that must have been Frieren thinking about this specific moment, because we have a clock tower right here. I also like the fact that we have a clock tower here, because clocks obviously, like, represent time. Clocks tell time, you know, and time is something that, you know, infinitely flows on for eternity. So to me, this clock is sort of meant to emphasize the idea of Himmel loving her for all eternity. Like, the fact that he's giving her this ring, which I'm sure he obviously knew the meaning of it, you know, like, he kind of seemed like he understood the meaning. So it's like he's giving her this ring that means eternal love in front of this clock, which represents, like, time, infinity, you know, like, all of that combined is just really beautiful symbolically. I also just love Himmel's expression here too, when we see the close-up of his face. It's just like, as I said, I feel like his love for Frieren is just so pure and selfless. Like, when you look at his face, to me it just feels like humble acceptance, you know? Like, he accepts that where Frieren is in her life at this current moment, you know, she might not be able to accept or understand his feelings, but he's okay with that. He doesn't want more, he doesn't need more, he doesn't expect more from her. He accepts her for who she is, for exactly where she's at in this current moment in time, and that's something that I just love about Himmel. Like, there's so much patience and understanding in the way that he loves Frieren, and I find that to be incredibly beautiful. Like I said, it's just this, like, pure selfless love, and I just, like, it's so incredibly powerful to me, you know? It's absolutely just so beautiful. And I also really, really, really love Frieren's expression here, because it's clear that she doesn't understand, you know, she looks a little bit like what's going on, you know, but there's something in her eyes that's, like, almost a bit mesmerized, you know, like, she doesn't fully understand what's happening, but it feels like somehow deep down inside, she understands that, like, something is happening, even though she doesn't fully understand the meaning of it. So I love how they did
both their expressions in this scene. Like, I think they did a really good job of capturing the emotion of each of the characters. So that's like really beautiful. Oh man, wow, that's so gorgeous. What a lovely scene. And I'm also just noticing you can hear bells. Kind of reminds me of like wedding bells ringing. So this scene is just like chef's kiss, perfect. What an absolutely incredibly well handled scene. Like, oh my god, I loved that so much, and it made my heart both like so happy and so sad at the same time, you know, because it's like it's like happy because it's so incredibly beautiful the way it's been done, but sad because obviously Frieren never understood the full extent of Himmel's feelings, and you know, now that ship has sailed, Himmel's no longer with us, so it's just so bittersweet. Like, everything about Frieren so often is just incredibly bittersweet, but like seriously, what like an absolute masterpiece of a scene. That was so gorgeous. I also really appreciated this scene because I just feel like it's just so nice to see Fern like immediately get it, you know? And she's, you know, like no questions asked, she's just like, I'll help, you know? Like, she understands what that likely means to Frieren, because I think that bracelet means a lot to her. And I wonder if she was like a little bit, I think she was hurt that Stark wanted to replace it, but I wonder if she was like hurt specifically because maybe Fern like actually likes the meaning of the bracelet, you know? But anyways, I think like Fern, having received such a precious gift from Stark, can immediately understand like, okay, like we have to find this ring. I mean, I think she would have understood even if she hadn't received the bracelet from Stark, but it's like really sweet the way she's just immediately like, okay, like let's help. We're not leaving until we find this thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Yep. But like the thing is like this is one of those cases where it's like Frieren says that, but I feel like she really does deep down inside want to find this ring, you know, because it's like, yeah, as I said, you know, Himmel's given her other things like in the form of memories, and even though memories are wonderful, it's like really nice to have a physical reminder of a certain memory, and that memory is a very precious one, even though Frieren again might not quite fully understand like the extent of Himmel's actions in that scene where he basically like proposed to her. I'm used to losing things is also such an interesting line, because I feel like here she says it in a way that implies, you know, like, I'm used to losing things like objects, but she's also used to losing people, you know? Like, I think that one line speaks volumes about Frieren's feelings. Like, she's trying to play it off, but it is actually something that's really important to her, and she is unfortunately used to losing, again, more than just objects. Like, I think it also applies to people, even though it's used in a way here that would like imply that she's used to losing objects, you know? And then she says, you know, besides, that's not the only thing Himmel gave me, and it's like, that's true, she obviously has a lot of wonderful memories with Himmel, but I feel like this sort of sad smile that she has, like, you know that deep down she does want to find this ring, you know? Because even though memories of a person are wonderful to have, there's something about having like a physical object from somebody you care about who's like, you know, now gone, or like a physical object that reminds you of like a really precious memory with that person. There's something about having that physical object that is like irreplaceable, you know, and it's like really meaningful. So I'm glad that Fern can understand and relate to Frieren in this scene, and I just loved her reaction, how she was immediately like, I'll help, you know? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Eternal love. Oh yeah, no, Himmel definitely knew what it meant. I'm sure it's important. Yup. I love that Fern. Like, I love Fern. Fern. Fern was so freaking awesome in this scene. Like, I mean, Fern's awesome in like every freaking scene. I just love Fern in general, but like this scene especially, I just loved her, especially even more than I already do in this scene, because like, just, yeah, huge W Fern. I also just wanted to briefly come back to this beginning scene, because this is what I was talking about in the beginning, where I said there was like focus on a clock tower. So here it is, and
then, like I said, we see it once again when Himmel does his sort of like proposal to Frieren. I also really liked this scene. It's just really sweet that Frieren's sort of like checking up on her kiddos to make sure that they're doing okay, and it's sweet that Zine is here too. But I also just like the conversation, and I really enjoyed the Hyder flashback as well. Or the privilege of the young. Like, that's a very interesting spot to have the title. And it's interesting what Sign says, like, you start avoiding conflict when you're older. Those types of arguments are the privilege of the young. And I think he's sort of getting at this idea of, like, once you're older, or like once you become an adult, I feel like there's a lot more expectation placed on you, and you're given a lot less grace. You know, you're sort of expected to be mature, and you're expected to have your shit together, and you're expected to like not engage in like petty silly little arguments. You know, you're expected to know the answers to things, you're expected to be like emotionally sound, and to not like need fulfillment from other people. You know, like there's just a lot less grace given to adults as opposed to children. I feel like is maybe kind of what he's getting at with like the privilege of the youth. I also really loved this Hyder exchange. Like, this was so gorgeous because, I mean, we just saw in episode 11 how Hyder was one of the people who praised Frieren. Obviously, Himmel was too, but in episode 11, we see that Hyder was one of the people who praised Frieren, you know? So this is like a really nice moment where like Hyder in his old age, like now gets praised by Frieren. It's just nice to see that reciprocity. You've matured. Hardly changed since I was a child. Yup. Pretending to be an adult until I can make it as an ideal grown-up. And I feel like this is kind of, again, the idea that they were getting at with the privilege of the young, or like the privilege of youth, is like, as I said, when you're an adult, you're expected to be a grown-up, you know? But sometimes you feel like you don't know what the heck you're doing either, but you just have to pretend because, again, you're expected to have your shit together when you're an adult. So you don't have like the privilege of making those same mistakes and getting the same grace for them as you would if you were younger. You know what I mean? But yeah, I totally relate to Hyder here because I feel the same way sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how do I adult, you know? Like, I get it. And it's very interesting to see it from Hyder's perspective, who's like, what, 90, 95 or something, probably, in this scene here. And he still feels like he doesn't know what he's doing, you know? I've simply been pretending to be an adult until I can make it as an ideal grown-up, you know? Fake it till you make it. I'll probably keep pretending until the day I die. Yup. Yeah. Lots of praise and guidance. For pretending until the day you die. Oh my gosh, this is just like, I love the way this conversation like so heavily mirrors their conversation from episode 11 when they were younger and like still on their journey. The goddess is for very similar to Craft. I'll praise you down here, like, oh, so sweet. Like, I that. Okay, like that was just so good. Like, this is just perfection. Like, that's the best way that she possibly could have done it. Because as I said, like, at least in my head, I feel like that's how Hyder praised her. So it's like really sweet to see her turning that back on him, you know? And I love his smile. That was better than I expected. Like, it's so sweet because I feel like this was probably a really meaningful moment to Hyder, you know, because he keeps talking about like, oh, I'll get my praise when I, you know, see the goddess someday. Like, it'll be okay when I die and I'll go to heaven and I'll meet the goddess and she'll praise me. But it's like, there's so much meaning in praise that you get, you know, in life while you're still here, you know, like regardless of what you believe. Some people believe that there is something after death, some people believe that there isn't, but like if you're somebody who does believe that there's something after death, it's like that doesn't mean that life itself isn't meaningful, or that you shouldn't be allowed things like praise in life itself, you know? Like this moment is just, it's like Frieren is saying, like, you're worthy of praise down here in this world, in this life, in this time, you know? And I just think that's so beautiful. And then it cuts to Sein. I'll speak with the goddess for you. That's so sweet, man. You should be praised by her. Aww. And I'll look forward to it. Oh man, that's such a great exchange. And I love this too. I feel like Frieren thinking back on that exchange, it's like it just once again shows how much she's grown as a person, you know? Like she thought about praise right now, so she's gonna do it right now. Like she's gonna offer that to Sein, because I think like she doesn't want it to be like Hyder, where he was like, you know, 90 years old. Like she's thought about it right now in the present, in this moment, and so she's gonna praise Sein right now while he's right here in front of her, and make sure that he has that in life down here, because like Sein himself has just echoed a sentiment that's like very similar to Hyder, you know, like this, again, this idea of like the privilege of the young. Sein has basically said something like pretty similar to Hyder, and I think that's kind of like what prompted the Hyder flashback. And so she wants to make sure that she praises him, and I think that's such a wonderful thing, because as I said, I feel like as an adult, you often don't get that as much, you know? Like with children, we know that they need praise and they need encouragement, but I feel like once you're an adult, you don't get that quite as often. You don't get quite as many things like, you know, compliments and praise and encouragement once you become an adult. So I really love that Frieren has sort of like acknowledged that Sein might need that in this moment, and that she's, you know, praising him in her way. Yeah, and I think you're a proper adult. Yeah. She's like, you're doing good. An older woman do this, but I love how he kind of smiles, you know? It seems like he kind of needed that. He just needed someone to tell him, like, you're doing good. You're doing an all right job, you know? Adulting is hard, but you're doing all right, kid, you know? I also just want to go back to this scene with Fern and Stark, and I actually really love that the Himmel statue is right here, because it kind of feels like Himmel's like low-key watching over them a little bit. Like, you know, these are people that Frieren cares about, so of course, you know, like anybody that Frieren cares about is somebody who Himmel would care about too, you know? So it kind of feels like he's like watching over them in a way, you know? But I love the fact that we see his hand tremble. I love Stark and how it focuses on his hand so much, but I also love the context of this particular scene and focusing on Stark's hands, because it's like up until now we've seen his hands shake when he's like fighting big scary demons, you know, and dragons and monsters, but this is just like an interaction with Fern, and we can see his hands shake because it means so much to him, and like he genuinely didn't want to hurt her or upset her, and you can see that in the way that his hands tremble. Like he's scared of Fern because he's scared that he's like maybe damaged their relationship in some way. Like I said, I don't think he ever intended to hurt her, to make her feel like he didn't care about her birthday. So I love the context. Aww. Like that's just so sweet. Aww. Like this is just such a sweet exchange. It's so nice to see them opening up and expressing how they feel and being straightforward with one another. And I love how they both apologize, you know. Like what a great, you know, I love the way it's resolved, and like I said, it feels like Himmel's looking over them too. Like it's just, everything about this scene was so wonderful. Like I love I love seeing conflict resolution, you know? Like, they just talked it out. They both apologized, and then they went to get Fern the birthday present, and it was so cute how Stark was, like, sweating, kind of similar to how Frieren was sweating when, like, Frieren was picking out the butterfly hair clip. And oh my gosh, that bracelet is so beautiful too, man. I think it's, like, also kind of an interesting parallel that both times, like, the bracelet and the ring were picked out without the person, like, realizing the meaning behind them, you know? But regardless, like, both things wound up being so incredibly meaningful, and I'm pretty sure that that bracelet is gonna have the perfect meaning as Fern and Stark continue on their journey together, and obviously the ring with Himmel and Frieren has the perfect meaning for their relationship as well. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about this episode. I feel like I kind of talked about most of my thoughts during it, so I think that's all I have for the discussion portion, but I do sincerely hope that you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you did enjoy, excuse me, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye! And as always, it is time for our Legend tier shout out. So shout out to Able Dark Rider. Thank you so much for being an absolute legend.